Here is a service model, aka Pretty Lady. And service models can sit on top of different deployment models. You can think of the deployment model as a spacecraft that the service model sits on top of. And within each of these models, there are subcategories of services. For example, the service model has software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Whereas deployment models can either be public, private, hybrid, or community-based underlying infrastructures that these services sit on top of. To illustrate this, let's put the service model inside the deployment model, aka the Pretty Lady is inside the spacecraft. Oh yeah! Now let's expand this cloud analogy to cover more concepts. For example, let's imagine back on Earth there is a building known as the Space Center, or in other words, the Cloud Service Provider, the CSP. And the CSP is where you get the service model and deployment models from, aka before you launch the Pretty Service model into the deployment model into the clouds. Now it's worth noting that the CSP provides cloud computing. Think all the tech in the spacecraft. However, there is a key characteristic of cloud computing, which is known as on-demand self-service or self-provisioning. And this is a process by which the customer or user can provision, manage, or operate cloud services without interaction or assistance from the cloud service provider, aka once the model has been deployed into the clouds. However, there are some core basic building blocks of cloud computing, and this is the CPU, the RAM, the storage, and the networking which the CSP provides, aka the spaceship underlying architecture. And fundamentally, the CSP's role is this. Using our analogy, it's to monitor and administer services, aka the service models to deploy to space, manage all the assets and inventories, aka the spaceships and all the tech, and of course handle customer requests, aka the astronaut that is going into space. And a very important keynote to remember is that the responsibility in the cloud for data security does not shift from the cloud customer to the CSP. It stays with the cloud customer, aka the tenant, who would also be the data controller, meaning the customer retains all liability and legal responsibility for securing the data even if they decide to use the cloud. This is why in the context of cloud services and environments, governance is an important consideration. And always remember, governance must be a continuous activity, especially given privacy challenges remain a concern across clouds, which leads to an absence of uniform or international privacy directive laws and regulations that can be upheld in every single environment. And a good way to remember these points is if we expand our analogy. Imagine privacy concerns as a comet headed to Earth. And to identify and mitigate any potential impact, think of governance as the key, and in this case being a satellite that roams around the clouds. And this is why a primary concern for many customers when considering cloud services is security. In fact, security concerns are the primary issue for many customers, with around 60% of business users stating that security is the number one barrier preventing them from engaging with cloud services. Now that is a very quick lowdown on Domain-1 of the CCSP exam, and if you like this video, please be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you would like to see more videos like this, or any particular topics that you may want more information on. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content as much as I enjoyed creating it. If you would like to see more content like this, it would be super fantastic if you could leave a like and subscribe to help support this channel's growth.